Well, that didn't work out quite like we expected.
Hi, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we bring you videos on practical frugality.
Over 35 years of frugality, we've tried an awful lot of frugal strategies.
Yeah.
Some of them have worked out really well, and some of them not so
good.
much.
Yeah.
There are some that we've looked at each other and said that did not work out quite like we expected that it would. So the question we'd like to explore in this video is, how do we determine when we try a new frugal strategy? How do we know if it's successful or not successful? How do we know what stays, what goes, and what we need to change? That's what we'll talk about.
The first factor that we take into consideration is time. How much time did it take to do that?
How much time each week are we investing in implementing this frugal strategy into our lifestyle? Time also comes into consideration when we think, did we actually give this strategy enough time to work? One of the things we've often talked about is a lot of times people will try budgeting and they'll say, tried it for a month, didn't work. No budget works in the first month. I'm just going to say it.
No.
I'm going to say it out loud. No budget works in the first month. You figure out what you need to change probably in the first, 4 months of budgeting. It takes a good 4 months to sort of get the hang of it, to get into the role, and to figure out how to actually budget. Frugal strategies are very much like that. Oftentimes, you can't try a new strategy and after 30 days go, well, it didn't work. We're just going to scrap it. Is it worth us keeping it on our weekly rotation of frugal habits and giving another month or two to see if it will work to help us to save more money?
Don't forget to take into consideration how much this frugal strategy is affecting other areas, because everything that we do affects something else.
Ultimately, here's what we want in frugal strategies. Tell me if you are with me in the comments section. I want those frugal strategies that do not take me very much time, but yield me really big savings. That is like the golden mantra of frugal strategies. That's what you want to achieve. Always look at your frugal strategy and say, how close is it to that ideal frugal strategy? If you want some frugal strategies that aren't going to take you very much time, we did a video on it and we gave you 55-minute frugal strategies. We're going to make sure that that video, guys, is linked up above and also in the description of this video.
Factor number 2 is simply, how much money did we save? That's the bottom line of frugal living, isn't it? Money that you're saving for something else that you really want to apply it to. That's the whole strategy behind being frugal.
One of the things you always want to take into consideration, though, is not just the amount of money saved. We like to think of these frugal strategies and the money we save in terms of ROI, return on investment. Is the investment of time worth the amount of money that we are saving? Balance those two.
One of two things that you can look back on is, in terms of how much money you're saving, is it a lot of money or is it not very much? It's going to be one or the other for the most part.
Here's something else that's going to be one or the other. Either the amount that you saved is going to be a lot more than you estimated you would save, or more likely it's going to be less than you estimated that you were going to save. Here's the trick to this, guys. When you start a new frugal strategy, always have an amount of money in mind. Write down on paper, how much time is this going to take me every week, and how much money do I expect I'm going to be able to save by implementing this frugal strategy? Because until you do that, you don't have a benchmark to weigh it against to know whether it's been successful or whether it's not.
If you need ideas on how to save money, ask Hope.
I wrote an ebook called 10 Ways to Radically Reduce Your Expenses. It's a checklist. It gives you step-by-step instructions on those 10 ways to lower the amount of money you're spending every month. There'll be a link to it, guys, in the description of the video, and it's a free resource.
We haven't gotten too far into this video, but if you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit the like button. That helps the video go out to other people. And if you're not subscribed, we'd love to be having you as part of our frugal family. So subscribe.
Third factor we take into consideration when we're deciding we're going to keep a frugal strategy or we're going to scrap it and hopefully never look at it again. We've talked about the fact we're looking at how much time we're investing in that frugal strategy, how much money we're saving, but there's something else that you need to think about. These are other factors that may have affected your savings. If you're trying to lower your energy bill and you're doing it in the middle of winter, we're in the Midwest. It's very, very cold. It's harder to save money on your energy bill in the middle of winter or the middle of summer than it is in the spring or the fall.
Yes.
You have to think about, is it the time of year that it is? Should I hang on to this for another 6 months, say? I think if you're trying to save on energy costs, you got to look at maybe 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's always something that we've talked about is quarterly goals and yearly goals. Look at those together and decide, is this really affecting? What other external factors are affecting the amount of money I'm able to save? Did something happen during the month that is keeping you from saving money? I don't know, maybe like you broke your arm or you had a kid that got married. Trust us, that affects your savings for that month. It absolutely does.
Seems like we've had both recently.
So think about other factors, because it may not be that there's any problem with the frugal strategy, and it could very well be something that will save you money. It's just that the timing was bad.
You also don't want to forget the PITB factor. That's the pain in the butt factor. And I'll let Hope elaborate on that because she understands this much better than I do.
Listen, I make initials and abbreviations for like everything in my life just because it is super fun to do it. I call this the PITB factor. It's the pain in the butt factor. How much do I hate doing this? There is a level at which you think, could I save money doing this? Yes, I could. But is it so much of an angst to me that every time I think about this frugal strategy, I want to crawl under the table and not crawl back out again, or just stay there in the fetal position, or I get really anxious. Okay, you guys get the idea. Maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic, but there's a point at which you think it's just not worth it to me. Yeah. Part of that depends on where you're at in your savings journey. For us, because we've been debt-free for over 30 years, it's easier for us to implement the PITB factor and say, you know what? Another time, another place, this was worth it to us. But right now, we're going through a season where we just can't do this. It's always good to like keep we tell everybody to keep a list on the refrigerator of frugal ideas, strategies you think you might want to try. Take that idea, put it over on your list that you're keeping on your refrigerator. Look back in another 3 or 6 months and say, is this better timing? Is this going to be better for me now? We all have periods in our life, right, where there's just a whole lot going on. And adding one more thing to that mix is just, it's going to do us in.
Don't forget to keep that in mind when you're watching this channel. What Hope and I do may not be suitable for your lifestyle, your way of living, or it just may not fit what you can do. Don't feel bad at all about that. Chances are you're doing 2 or 3 things that we haven't even thought of. So there's always something you can do in order to help your frugal living, to save money, to be more efficient with what you're doing with your time and your energy.
Here's the bottom line, guys. Most frugal strategies tend to underperform, especially the first month or two, rather than overperform your expectations. Yeah. You have to go into frugality with that in mind.
Remember that saving money takes practice. It's just like anything that you do. You have to work at it. It might be something new for you, and you're going to be learning new things to do. It won't feel natural at first, but after you've done it a while, you'll wonder, how did I ever get by not doing it?
That's why our golden rule of frugality, the golden rule of frugality is 3 months. Give it 3 months. And then at the end of 3 months, you can look at it a lot more open-mindedly and decide whether you're going to keep it or whether you're going to scrap it. And that is why quarterly goals are so important. We make quarterly goals, monthly goals, and weekly goals that we call our big 3. Seriously, guys, this doesn't take a lot of time to write these goals down and then write a subset of ways that we intend to reach those goals. Believe me, if it took a long period of time, we wouldn't be doing it. The great thing about having quarterly, monthly, and weekly goals is that they all sort of dovetail into each other, and they create this stair step that allow you to reach your goals far more quickly and with a lot less frustration. Now, if you want to know that secret formula that we have for how we set these goals and do it really quickly, we did a video that shows you step by step how we do it. That video, guys, right over there.